Hi, welcome to the Simple Logistics channel. So today we are going to talk about freight costs and how to calculate them. This is important for either transporters to understand how much they have to charge for their service, and also for those who need to transport materials and products to be able to estimate how much they are going to pay for freight of their products or their goods. So we have a few items that amount for a good part of the freight costs. Freight costs are composed mainly by labor and fuel. I would say these are like 60 or 70% of the overall costs of freight. It depends on the kind of a transportation that you need or that you are calculating. Especially intercity distribution uses a lot of labor, so it takes a lot of time, even though the transportation vehicle doesn't go or doesn't travel a lot of miles or a lot of kilometers. You have a lot of labor involved. There is a lot of hours involved into making distribution within a large city, for example, with lots of traffic. If you are making long haul transportation to a different state or to a different country, these kind of long distance travels, fuel is going to present a bigger share of the freight costs. But I would say overall, labor is still going to be your number one expense line. Then you have, of course, fuel. Diesel fuel, especially, is very expensive anywhere in the world, and these, especially the heavy duty or the heavy capacity distribution vehicles or trucks, they use a lot of diesel. So these has to be taken into consideration. Also, these heavy-duty vehicles, they present a high investment for the transportation companies. They cost a lot upfront to purchase. Then the third biggest item in these freight costs is usually depreciation. Just to explain in a very simple way how depreciation works, if you talk to an accountant, he will have a different explanation. But let me just make a streamlined version of what depreciation means. If you are planning to use a vehicle, a truck, for example, for 10 years, then each year you have to save a tenth of the cost of the vehicle for at the end of this period to purchase a new truck. So depreciation, that's what depreciation means. You are going to save part of the investment upfront. You are going to save part of what you need to invest to purchase again the tool or the machine, the equipment you need to continue your business. For a transportation company, the main equipment are the delivery trucks. So they have a high value, and you have to take into account depreciation to keep renewing your fleet. The other line of cost is toll, especially in places where you're going to have long haul transportation, or you're going to travel through different states, different countries. You can have many tolls, and so some of them might be quite expensive. So this is a cost that you have simulate, calculate, and take into consideration. And finally, you have the profit and the profit margin for the company, for the transportation company. This is very important to keep them in business. It pales in comparison to what they are going to spend in labor and fuel, but it's necessary, and it's something that all companies have to strive for. No company should operate without profit. You shouldn't get any service without looking for profit. Profit is what keeps companies in business. And if you are buying freight, if you are a purchase guy, and you have to contract companies to provide you with transportation services, you know that they need to have profit. You don't want your provider to go bankrupt. So it's important that they have a healthy profit margin. Not very good, not very high, but it's important that they have a profit margin good enough to keep them in business, to keep them operational with in healthy conditions. And then you have other costs like administrative costs, which in general are very small compared to the other costs. But even though with the competitive conditions that we have today, it's very important to take into consideration even these small costs, so you don't have to round up, you don't have to make educated guess about your costs, or if you are a transporter, about your price. So the more clarity you have about your costs, the more details you have about them, the more precise you can be in pricing your service, or in simulating how much you are going to spend in freight, if you are going to purchase, if you are going to use freight services. Okay, so this was what I had for today. Thank you for watching our videos, and please come back to watch our new videos. Thank you. Bye.